Mikeself and I. It's me, Mikeself and I. Me, Mikeself and I. It's me, Mikeself and I.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, it's time for your weekly Fix of Funny. Broadcasting on radio in Fort Bragg, 107.7 FM, KNYO. Grab a mimosa, take your pants off, and treat yourself to the sexy bald man who makes you tingle in your special place. I was talking about your heart. He's wrong, but he's so right. He's brilliant, he's insightful, but also at times he's got the intelligence of a cup of dirt. Here we go, it's the Me, Mikeself and I show, starring Mike Betancourt!
Hello, 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 hello. I got something to show you. You want to go? You want to go? What about this? Razor Ramon has got my back. You see that? Razor Ramon. Mike, you're almost 40 and you're playing with toys. I'm not playing with toys. I'm showing you that I can do voices for toys. Hey, yo, Chico. Ow, 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 ow. Anyways, that's the only toy I have. Seriously, I don't have any other toys. It's ridiculous if I have more than one. That's stupid. So, anyways, hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Me, Mikeself and I. I am your host, Mike Betancourt, episode 119. Did I say 9? 119. 119 episodes, folks. I can't believe it. No, these are not boobs. This is a Mickey Mouse bearded shirt. I know what you guys are thinking. Like, why does he have boobs on his shirt? It is a Mickey Mouse, and it doesn't look good. I just noticed you use your imagination. Oh my God. I have a very distinguished guest on the show, and I have these balls and this microphone here. It's terrible, but my distinguished guest is an amazing human being. He's the Elk Grove City Councilman, and he's a civil engineer. Mr. Darren Suen is here, and he has no idea what's in store with the show, and he probably left because he saw what I put the connected the. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's terrible. Anyways, let's move on. Quote of the day: "You call this a storm?" Do you know what movie that's from? Can anybody remember? Let me see. What are people saying right now? Anyways. That's Dirty Sir. Thank you, Matthew Robinson. I just realized, so I'll just talk like this from now on. But anyways, you call this a storm. That is from Forrest Gump. That is when Lieutenant Dan was on the crow's nest during that big storm. He doesn't have any legs, and he's calling out God, saying, "You call this a storm." If you don't know what I'm talking about, kids, well, guess what? I'm about to show it to you. I am about to show you Lieutenant Dan. This is the quote of the day.
You call this a storm? Oh, you son of a... Oh! It's time for a showdown! You and me! I'm right here! Come and get me!
He had a lot of hatred towards God at that time, and he said, "You call this a storm, Lord?" And we should use that power in every day, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're going through a tough time with COVID. I know with all the crap that's going on, I'm sure you see it at your store, at your day. "I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to wait about 20 minutes to waste your time when I could just go like this, get my stuff and leave." You see how easy that is, people? "I don't want my mask. It's going to violate my rights." All you have to do is do this real quick, get your shit and leave. Or DoorDash. It's simple. Or order it at whatever. Okay? So when the storm hits, ladies and gentlemen, be strong like Lieutenant Dan. That's what I'm trying to boil it down to. In other news today, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of storm and speaking of COVID and the rights and everything, let's give a round of applause to New Zealand. Huh? New Zealand, the leaders of the world, bringing all the cases down to zero. And now I know there's another outbreak hitting right now, but it doesn't matter because they are hitting it hard. They said right here, go hard, go early. That's it. Hit it hard, hit it early. No politics, shut it down and move forward. Why can't we learn from this? And I know what people are going to say. Oh, it's because it's an island. It's a small island and they can control people. Blah, blah, blah. They can control people because they care about each other. Have you thought about that? How many times have you seen protesters in New Zealand saying no mask, why mask, none of that? They said, all right, let's be better than Australia. And they are. Okay, with that being said, it's time for Nick's Fury. You guys ready for Nick's Fury? He's got a lot to say. Mr. Nick Nolte, this is him right here, right now, on Me, Myself, and I. Nick's Fury.
You're listening to Nick's Fury with Nick Nolte here on Me, Myself, and I. This show is about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if you don't like it, I don't give a damn. I'm Nick Nolte. Go yourself, America. Episode 5. Teachers need a goddamn raise. Doesn't it seem odd that Joe Rogan, Patrick Mahomes, and now George Kittle are being paid millions of dollars to entertain us during the times of COVID? What about the teachers? Huh? How come they're not getting paid millions of dollars doing back-breaking work? Think about that. And now they have to deal with 35 students in a digital classroom. 35 kids at once? Jesus, Mary and Joseph, are you nuts? Sure, the teacher can put them on mute, but that won't stop the student from making fun of them with a doggy filter. Think about that. And how the hell are we on the brink of a collapse in our economy, but yet we can pay a tight end from the 49ers $75 million? Really? $75 million? A tight end in football? You might as well give a punter $300 million on a sign-on bonus since you like to waste money. Give these teachers a goddamn raise now. Because without these teachers, we wouldn't have these idiots to entertain us. I'm Nick Nolte. Go yourself, America.
There you go. Enough said. Pay the teachers properly. That's true. I see it all the time. Patrick Mahomes, what, $450 million? Joe Rogan got $100 million. The tight end got $75 million. During a pandemic, it's time to jack up your raises, teachers. Fight for it. Protest. We got your back. But please teach our kids, because I can't. I can't teach my kid. I'm just letting you know right now that I'm going to be like, please, God, please let this COVID end so my kids can go back to school. Not for the sake of humanity, for my kids to be educated by someone proper besides me. All right, let's move on. Are you ready for your guest, ladies and gentlemen? Micers, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes, you are, because you're watching it right now. This guy, I've met him a couple years ago. Wonderful human being. Elk Grove City Councilman, civil engineer. He ran for mayor. He's also vice mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, he's actually making my show clean as we speak. All the badness and all the sadness is coming out because here he is right now. Here he is, Mr. Darren Suen.
Hey,
how you doing,
Mike,
sir?
How you doing?
Dude,
Good,
thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. What a great intro, buddy. Can you do that for me all the time?
Every time, dude. I will be your hype man. I'll be like, vote for Darren. What are you doing? Vote for Darren. I won't wear this shirt with this microphone. That's all I gotta say. I just noticed it. I'm like, dude, he's running for votes right now, and he's on this show with this shirt. I was like, oh my God. I am just ruining it for you. How you doing, sir? Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, no, thank you. And great props for the teachers too. Let me tell you, I think anybody just that have to be at home with the kids right now would gladly vote to give our teachers a raise right now. Don't you think?
Oh my God. They are beyond well earned. They need it now. They need it more than ever.
Yeah.
It just sits me when you see all these athletes. Like, is the football season going to even begin? Are we going to have a football season? So he's getting paid $75 million for not even working right now. And all these teachers are working and their budget cuts, more budget cuts. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how these teachers do it, man. And they love the students. They love teaching.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Do you have any teachers in your family?
No, I do not. But I got kids, and I remember what it was like to try to teach them homework.
That's
5 minutes
exactly
and I'm done. I can't do
right.
I can't do
Right.
it.
You look at the
My
math,
wife,
you're like,
please help me. Please help. Yeah.
I didn't know I was failing 7th grade math already. You know what's great, folks, about Darren? One time we met up for lunch because he wanted to put a comedy show together, and we met at this Mexican restaurant. And anyone that wants to meet up at a Mexican restaurant, already you're golden, man. You're ready. You're ready. You're ready. A good human being. And I was eating we had
food.
big burritos too. And
Oh
just
yeah.
chomping up a bit. I'm like, dude, you're not a shady politician. You're a normal human being that you can fart at any given moment, but it's okay because it's at a Mexican restaurant. It's all right because you have Mexican food.
Anything Mexican food is the only thing I can eat like every day. Every day. Anything else I get tired of. Even like sushi and pasta and pizza, right? Steaks. I get tired, but whatever it is, I can eat Mexican food every day.
Tacos, it doesn't matter. Does not matter.
Burritos,
Our
enchiladas.
cholesterol is going to go through the roof, but we will enjoy that Mexican food.
That was a good time, brother. And we're still gonna do that comedy show one of these days.
We will when it comes back. So let's get the Micers get to know who Darren Suen is. You're a hometown hero, yes?
Yeah, if I'm a hero, that'd be fantastic. But I was born and raised in Sacramento. My dad grew up in Sacramento as well. Grew up in Oak Park. Went to Sac High. But my great grandparents immigrated here from China in the 1920s. Settled in Cortland in the Delta. So we sharecropped on the Smith family farm there, and some farms in the Thomas area. So those were my roots, and my mom came from Hong Kong directly. So
wow, I'm sure she was strict. I'm sure she was strict.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of rulers on the hand and a lot of night classes or whatever for Chinese character writing, which I don't remember anything today. But the math, always having the homework was never done. Never done.
Are you as strict as your mama is to your kids?
No,
not even close. You look at the ruler like, can I just measure this?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna measure this ruler. I'm not gonna hit you with it.
It toughens you up though. It's my show now. I think it's my show now. You're on mute, Mike. You're on mute. I see a muted microphone. There you go. Yeah.
No, the mic just cut out right when I was talking crap about a ruler. I was like, oh, okay. You want to talk smack about a ruler? Let's see what's up. So. Do you have any brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I got a younger brother. In fact, it's his birthday today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he lives in the East Bay. Yeah. So, but otherwise, we got a small family.
What's your brother's name? We'll wish him happy birthday.
His name's Daryl.
Daryl?
My other brother, Daryl. Yeah.
Check this out, dude. I'm about to nerd it up. Watch this. Watch this. Here we go. Just for you, Daryl. This is just for you. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Super nerd.
Two R's and an E and a double L.
Hold on.
But that's all good.
Hold on. Let me do it again then. Hold on. We're doing this live. Hold on. How do you spell it?
Darrell.
Oh, he probably got his butt kicked in high school. I'm Daryl with the Y, not yo. There we go. How about this? Is that better? It's not coming up. Dude, technology, what is up with you today? There we go. How about that?
Yes,
happy birthday.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, he'll love that.
There we go, Daryl. One more time. That's awesome. I hope he voted for you when you were running for mayor.
Well, he can't vote here, Mike. He doesn't live here.
What's that?
He lives in the East Bay.
Oh, okay. Well, he needs to. He should have came here for a resident or something. What kind of brother is that? What was it like? Are you the old? You said that was your younger brother?
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Yeah.
Out of just you and him. I'm sorry, I missed.
Just me and him.
Yeah.
The world revolves around me. I'm the oldest.
There you go.
That's how it goes.
What was it like just growing up being the oldest child, and what made you decide growing up as the older brother with a strict mom to decide to become a civil engineer?
It's interesting you say that because I really didn't want to. when I was growing up, I was all over the place: marine biology, business, accounting, and I love outer space. I'm actually a sci-fi geek. You know, I got my Empire Strikes Back shirt on here.
Nice.
But I love outer space. Wanted to do that, and then
Suzanne just said I voted for you. There you go.
that's my sister-in-law. Yeah, she better.
It's a good
That's
sister-in-law.
family.
Good. And
She's
she made
awesome.
it. She made it known.
Best sister-in-law right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I tell you the truth, I wasn't even good at math. I tell this to kids sometimes too, you know, because I had to have
Your
a
mom
math
must have
tutor.
been pissed. You're like, you're the
Oh,
only
she was
Chinese
mad.
person that is not good at math. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I hated studying, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting because I had a math tutor come home from wrestling practice and had to do a math tutor, but I ended up getting past all that and persevered, you know. So I tell kids, you know, just work at it. You know, if you work hard, I promise you one day when it clicks, it will always click, you know.
God, you know what the hardest thing about that right there is the kids don't understand patience on top of working hard. People want like in the society we live in right now is what happened 5 minutes ago, not just right now, and just that long haul. And I think with COVID and everything is teaching everybody patience, especially kids, because they've been locked up.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And you know, and for them, you remember we were that age. I mean, it was if you had to wait a couple months, that was forever, you know.
Right.
And as we get older, we know it's like, hey, if we put in a year doing this stuff, it's not that long. You're talking the rest of your life, you know, for skill, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I didn't really go down that path. And my dad was like, you know, why don't you do all these math and science courses till you figure out what you want to do, and then you know, you can switch over to anything else because it all applies. And I thought, well, that makes sense, you know. And then next thing I know, I'm graduating in it, you know.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Your mom must have been really proud. She's like, finally, after all those beatings later, you got a diploma as a civil engineer. So what was your first job as a civil engineer? Why don't you explain to us what's it like to be a civil engineer and what it takes to be one?
Well, you know, first of all, I wanted to say the civil part, right, is really it's civilian, right? I describe it like anything to do with civilization because that makes it easy for folks to understand. But the civil part actually is differentiating from military engineers. And I know you're in the military, Mike, so I want to thank you for your service as well. Yeah. And but
thank you.
it's yeah, I mean, when I graduated, we from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, I'll give a shout out to the Mustangs. But I thought I'd be designing buildings, structures, and I had this on-campus interview, and this company down south that said, "Hey, you want to do subdivisions?" And I'm like, "I don't even know what a subdivision is," but I said, "Sure." And that's what started me into a career in land development, designing all the infrastructure for communities throughout the state. Yeah, it was really cool.
That must be really fulfilling too when you see something from blueprint.
Oh, yeah.
That you design, you see kids like having a good time around that, what you created.
Yeah. Oh, and when you're building it, you know, and you're out there and you're talking to the contractors and answering questions, they call it, you know, request for information, RFIs, and, you know, to clarify your plans and stuff. And so you're seeing these things get built, these humongous things get built that you put on paper. It's pretty rewarding for sure. And then, you know, it really gave me an insight on how communities are put together, like, you know, how cities work and counties work and who's responsible for what. In other words, governance, you know, how all that stuff. And so it was really a great lesson for me and all that.
It's a huge puzzle piece, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I bet you when you walk by your own building that you create and someone litters in front of it, you're like, son of a, you get angry. Pick that up. Pick that up. That's my building. That's my community.
So well, cracks you when something gets built, and I'll drive by with my wife, and I'm like, look at this and all these things, and this is what that is, that is, and then she couldn't care less, you know.
Right.
And it just
you
cracks
put blood,
me up
sweat, and tears, and countless hours, and people are employed under you, and they like, might lose their job. What have you done for? Have you finished the honeydew list? Have you finished the honeydew list? If it's not done, you could do an infrastructure, but you can't do a honeydew list. Why? Answer that, Darren.
She's awesome. She's
I
she's
bet,
great.
man.
Yeah.
I bet. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Kafu Santos just said, I love the building he's talking about. Oh, Kafu.
Cool.
That is a wrestler.
Nice,
That's
buddy.
a professional wrestler. You're talking about wrestling. I used
Oh,
to
really?
see this guy. Yeah. We used to
Awesome,
do
Kafu,
capoeira
yeah.
together. What's up, Kafu?
Oh, capoeira. Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did capoeira, and he's also a professional wrestler. That is
Awesome,
so
man.
cool.
Yeah.
So looky, man, you're touching lives, man.
Yeah. I did Wing Chun for 20 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I mean, it's one of those things, like you're doing capoeira, wrestling. We're talking about investing time into things, right? I mean, it takes time, right, to learn the moves and then get comfortable with the moves. So it just time back to what you're saying about hard work and just putting in the time.
I think with martial arts and building, but they probably coexist together, because you have to have the patience, you have to breathe, and you have to move forward with it. And if things fall apart, you just gotta go with the flow and deal with it. I'm sure. Oh, and Kafu says, oh, he's a civil engineer.
Sweet.
Where are you at, Kafu? I haven't seen you in years. I'm sorry, we're getting derailed.
That's all good. Always happy to meet another civil engineer. That's great.
Awesome. That's cool. So tell us, what was your worst job as a civil engineer? The one that just everything fell apart.
Oh man. It was like a church in Vallejo. And yeah, that one just at that time was dealing with, I barely can remember it now, but it was always tough dealing with the client and just, when you have dealing with the client, you're always trying to, please the client. And so making sure, you have a good working relationship, they know what they want. Just dealing with, you got to deal with the billings and the invoices and all that kind of stuff. I mean, and it really wasn't that big of a deal, but that was probably the worst.
So you never had anything where contractors screwed you guys over or left in the middle of the job or anything like that? Slow down progress or anything like that?
No, we didn't have that. No, we didn't. We were very fortunate. We didn't have that. Yeah.
I think it's because they knew you had. I think they knew that you knew martial arts, so they're like, okay, we'll get this done today.
This is actually the first time I've actually publicly mentioned that. I don't talk about it, but you mentioned capoeira, so.
Oh, it's my fault. Don't get mad at me.
I didn't know. That's really awesome. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I love it, man. There's just something spiritual about it. About all of that stuff. It doesn't matter.
Do you feel it's spiritual as well as being a civil engineer when you're creating land? And it's got to be some kind of spiritual connection. No? Okay.
You know what's because a lot of engineering stuff is all like the books and the formulas, and cities and counties have standards, and so you're kind of abiding by those. In my humble opinion, the most creative you get is when you're able to do grading plans. So I worked down in Southern California, a lot of hills, so there's a lot of big grading things, and you have to do what's called terrace drains. You see them on the highway. There's these drains that catch the water and then channel it and the down drains. And so there's a little bit of artistic thing you can do in there when you're grading, when you're designing what those hills look like to fit into a community. But absent that, I mean, I don't feel like we get civil engineers. We don't have a whole lot of opportunity for creativity. It's been my experience. You get a lot more of that in the architect world. And then the challenge for the civil engineers is to try to make what the architect designed to actually work. And so that's always a little joke, professional joke, architects and engineers, kind of duking it out, so to speak. But
I would love to see an architect fight an engineer. I want to see that. I want to see that fight. I want to see you design a cage, and then architects and engineers go at it. They
get all the credit.
With the radius.
But they make the beautiful buildings and stuff,
right.
And we're like the concrete and the steel, everything underneath, and or even the infrastructure underground, the roads, everybody drives and walks all over.
Right.
It's not as glamorous as what the architects do.
That's funny. June Levine just said when Darren found out
Oh,
we were
hey,
doing a fundraiser for friends of Elk Grove Animal Shelter called Pause for a Purpose, Darren called and offered to co-host. Needless to say, it was a huge success. Unfortunately, we had to postpone this year's event until September of 2021. We hope
yeah.
soon Mayor Suen will be co-hosting. Oh, dropping it down on the EG.
Hey,
Letting them
listen,
know.
that was very sweet of her, June. You're so sweet. Yeah, that's a whole other race going on. I'm a council member.
Right.
I'm a council member. Yeah.
So what got you into civil engineer to a councilman?
Well, that's the whole thing about the land development, and we're getting involved in the community. When I moved back up here, I changed jobs, and I decided I wanted to use my skill sets, my knowledge for the community, and so I got appointed to the county planning community planning advisory council, which is Supervisor Donna Tolley in my area here. But that was my first foray into community service, is to, participate and I would sit on that committee. And it just kind of went from there. I continued I went back into the land development field and built relationships with other electeds and planning commissioners and stuff as I tried to get my projects approved. And just kind of fell into it that way. It was really interesting because I didn't, I never intended for this path. So when I think back on, how I started telling you about how I didn't necessarily set out one day and say I wanted to be a civil engineer and how I
Right.
ended up there, right? And then doing land development, subdivision design, which I never knew anything about before I graduated, and then how it led to this. It's just kind of surreal.
So do you feel
So,
like you have now more of a responsibility since the time of COVID right now? Do you
oh,
feel
absolutely,
what do you
yeah,
what do you feel that you need to be responsible for, and us as a community to stick
yeah,
together during these
yeah.
during these times?
You know, when w- everybody, right? You got friends and family, people that you care about, and everybody's got these circles that things happen, right? Bad and good, and so you celebrate and endure those things together. But when I feel like when you're a representative in the community, right, your family, becomes the entire community that you're representing, and so I feel it, when people are going through the pain, with COVID especially. How can we help? And sometimes it can be frustrating because we don't have all the tools, right? I mean, as you can imagine, even nationally, right? There's never enough money to go around to help
Mhm.
people right now. I mean, you see Congress debating that right now. So you can extrapolate
Just
that.
use those football stats saying that we have plenty of money.
Oh, yeah, right.
By the way, these guys making $70 million. We can offer $10 million on
Yeah, give a
infrastructure.
little bit this way, throw a little
Yeah,
bit this
right.
way. Yeah. No, but I mean, you feel the pain, and so you want to help, like so. Yeah, I got into this, with the governing, the technical side. How can we fix our roads? How can we better land planning? How can create a community, where we got jobs and fun things to do? I call it the technical side. But then there's this human side on, how can we help everybody, a community for all? How everybody who is here, they have opportunities. They feel welcome. They feel safe. All these things that you know. One hand, I've learned about when I first started, and I'm continuing to do that work. But on the other hand, you've always had it because I've always, all of us have always had friends and family that we're taking care of and worrying about. So I think if you ever wanted to imagine what it was like to be in that role, it's, think about all your friends and family that you care about, want to take care of, and then just extrapolate that to, the entire community that you represent.
So, what do you suggest we should do to help small businesses in Elk Grove stay afloat during these times? What's has there any been talks about that or anything?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Just last night, we approved the budget for, we're going to get some money from the CARES Act. We're going to get some money, 750,000 we set aside for businesses, and then 200,000 we set aside for nonprofits. And so we've developed a program how we're going to award that based on full-time equivalents, employees. Certain ranges will get certain amounts up to, I think it's 25,000 is the maximum amount. So we're going to try to help as many as we can. And then on the nonprofit side, we're going to try to do the same thing. You saw June pop up earlier.
Yeah.
I'm a big dog lover. We have a cat too, so I love cats as well. But I'm growing up with dogs my whole life, so trying to help the nonprofits out. And they've got other funds coming in from HUD as well. So that's why that pot isn't as big this time around. But yeah, so we're doing those things. We've led up on our parking requirements, in shopping centers and things, encouraging coffee shops and restaurants to set up shop in their parking lots to allow social distancing, and so hopefully keep that afloat. Obviously, encouraging folks to shop local. Our city, we've got a campaign going on right now about that, and we're always encouraging folks to patron your restaurants and eateries,
Yeah,
because they're relying on takeout right now.
I know it's huge importance to help each other out. We're kind of like our own island, like New Zealand is. Elk Grove is like its own island, and I love Elk Grove. I love living here, and I think we need to keep pushing forward and figure out what we need to do to help each other out, because, with COVID and how people act about masks and no masks, it's creating a lot of tension, and I've noticed that. As soon as COVID hit, you go to the store. I'm sure you've experienced it. Everyone that's watching this right now, you've experienced people with the COVID brain getting angry for no reason, not paying attention. I get that. But what I'm concerned is, how is this election going to affect Elk Grove either if Trump becomes president or he doesn't become president? How do you think that's going to affect Elk Grove?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're in uncharted territory here. The political climate in the middle of a pandemic. I honestly, I don't know. I only hope that we can hang on, to our values, to our sense of community, and keep a level head, no matter what happens, right?
Yeah, I definitely I'm on your path with that, because I know Elk Grove is known, or a long time ago, it was known as like a redneck community, and the good old boys, and with the Confederate flags and stuff. And there's so much diversity now. I'm just concerned: is this going to create a huge uproar if Trump is or isn't elected? Because if you notice, I'm going to flat out say it. You don't have to chime in or anything, but I'm going to flat out say there's a lot of people that wear the Trump hats and the Confederate flag just to piss people off. You could just smell the arrogance when they walk into a store. I mean, it's not what it's supposed to be. Yeah, you want to protect your political party, that's fine, but they're wearing it knowing that it gets under people's skin. They're antagonizing them. Yeah. And my thing is concern is, are they going to pout? Are they going to create a riot if Trump doesn't win? I mean, these are concerns that we should look out for in the future with law enforcement and everything, because, even with law enforcement, there's protests and people are getting outraged, and everyone should be outraged with what happened with George Floyd. But I'm just main concerned. I'm just looking at the bigger picture. Yeah. And I don't want Elk Grove to be on the map for an anarchy revolution because their fearless leader didn't get reelected. Right. That's what I'm concerned about.
You touched on a really good point there. Speaking with my other elected colleagues throughout the region, it's not uncommon for conversations to go like this. Nobody can have a dialogue nowadays. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I feel like my perception is that's what, if you ask almost any elected person, I don't care what level, the ability to have just a conversation has been lost at this time, and I feel like everybody needs to take a part of ownership of that, right? And lack of a better term, check themselves, before, we start assuming what you believe. I go assume what you believe and what I think, if I look at your hat or whatever, and just you must be this or that, that's a bias, right? Implicit bias is something that people probably heard about, but it's something we've been trying to educate folks on, the existence of it, make you aware of it, and basically says, look, I don't fault you for whatever experiences and things you've endured, but please don't judge me based on that past experience, right? Because you don't know. We got to reset every time we meet somebody. We got to reset, no matter how they look alike. Sorry, go ahead.
I agree with you 100%, but there are some other people that are just reactive based off emotions without logic. They're just, well, this is who I'm standing behind, and I'm not gonna be wrong at this at all, and you're stupid for voting for that person. There's no logic. There's no emotion at all. I think everyone should just do martial arts with you. So let's calm down, Elk Grove. I think that's what it is, man. Because, dude, even on this topic, what's great about you, even on this topic, you're calm, cool, collective. You're like, dude, is Mike going to really throw me off? Am I going to lose votes or this? No, you're not, because you're calm, cool, and collective. That's what's great about you, man, is because you're taking your logic and you're expressing your words. You're not putting any votes. You're not picking one side on the fence. I'm seeing it from one side. You're seeing it from both ends. And that's what we need. We need more leaders like you to see on both sides and say, we need to come together and talk instead of argue and yell. Because, dude, we can't do another 4 more years of yelling and hating each other. We can't
make it. Yeah,
we can't. I don't. Yeah. And look what happened with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Look how many haters are just saying horrible things. I'm like, good Lord, man, what do you want? What do you want? Darren Suen, that's what we want. That's what we need. The third party. We need that third party.
Too kind, man. Too kind,
dude. It's great, man, because you don't get angry. It's unless I'm saying this now, but I think that the training has really, the martial art training has really kept your sense of aura just to keep in this harness area. It's just like, don't get mad. Don't get mad. It's the public eye. It's the public eye. I'll get mad.
I have my limits. I have my limits.
Okay,
well, ice cream, I get angry. I might get the wrong ice cream.
That's the only time
the wrong ice cream order.
Someone could say something horrible. Someone loses like ice cream. That's when you go nuts. That's it. I want my Neapolitan. Damn it! I want it now.
Vanilla. What is this vanilla? No.
Do you have any big pet peeves?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty laid back. You know what? If when I don't get my workout in, I get kind of. I mean, in terms of just some exercise,
right.
And I have to sit all day in meetings and stuff. That kind of gets me on edge, I would say.
I think that's everybody, especially nowadays in general.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Because look, we're sitting in these meetings and Zoom meetings and stuff all day for work. And at least normally, I was walking to my car or walking upstairs to go into a building or something. And when you're sitting and doing all these Zoom meetings all the time, I feel like if I don't do something early in the morning before that day begins, it just drives me nuts.
Right.
That gets a little annoying.
Well, you got, like I said, you're in martial arts. You got fast hands. You can knock somebody out real quick. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Just eat your ice cream.
Listen, I'm rusty and I was never that good. So
it's so funny. Suzanne just said, if you bring cake instead of pie over to his house, he gets irritated. Ooh.
Oh, yes.
The truth comes out. That's funny.
Sister-in-law outed me.
That's it. Let's see. Richard Andrews says, great leader in person to know. Elk Grove is awesome place. Excellent. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Kafu. I love Elk Grove. I'd love to get connected at some point with absolutely, Kafu.
Absolutely.
I felt Kafu's kicks many years ago. You better get on his good side. You better stay on his good side. Does anybody have any questions for Darren or anything that you any comments or concern? This is a good time. This is the open floor. If you want to talk to Darren right now, I can anything, any question about politics, what's he like, who he is as a person, if he's going for, are you going to go for mayor again? Not this year, but are you going to go for mayor again?
I don't know. Right now, I'm just focused on my own reelection.
How was that? That must have been intense.
Which one?
Just running for mayor.
My God, that was the best experience I ever
Okay,
had. I
cool.
mean, obviously the outcome would have been, if the outcome was different, it might have been better. But you know what? I couldn't, it was so humbling having just all the support, it felt so good. It's so rewarding. And then being able to go out and talk to so many residents across the city. It was really a fantastic experience, I got to say. So,
So what did you
despite the
learn?
outcome.
What did you? It doesn't matter about the outcome. It's the journey. It's always about the journey.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what did you learn about running for mayor that you can apply for just being a family man, just being a human being? What did you learn from that?
Yeah, and this is kind of since I'm a civil engineer, it's kind of a geeky thing. I'm a policy wonk type of thing. So I think what I learned is most people they don't want to talk about that stuff. So it's really a much more not as deep conversations about things. People vote and care about different things on a much I don't want to say superficial, but definitely lighter level.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, I meet that person and we'll talk for an hour about policy and things like that. I mean, they love it, and when people like it, hearing it, but on the average, people would just you know like conversations about things. So that was interesting to me.
I'm
So
sure you like to listen more now too. Like you have a good ability to listen to people
oh
because
yeah.
now you were meeting and greeting people all the time, and then now you have a more ability to really listen, not just hear them, but listen to what Elk Grove is saying to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really fortunate. This is again getting back to how my career kind of just path is kind of funny. But as a project manager, working on these things, you're constantly listening to stakeholder or community slash stakeholder concerns. And so I think I was very fortunate to kind of build that skill set over time. And then this, of course, really tests that and forces you to apply it even more. But you're absolutely right. Listening is key.
See,
Yeah.
being mayor and being a civil engineer made you a better husband. So now you have the honey-do list all done
Well,
because you
I
designed everything, and
yeah.
then
If
you
you
can
ask her,
hear what she's saying.
she's not gonna agree with you there.
Well, dude,
I was gonna say, I love your references, all the '80s stuff, man. When I saw your Cobra Commander
oh, cool.
impression, dude, that was awesome. Bring back the GI Joe
You
days.
got it, man.
Oh man.
I tell you
And
what, go ahead.
I just say I had the chance to peek at your site before too. I saw the Top Gun reference. I used to watch that movie all the time, over and over again.
Do you
It
know how to
was
do
the
the Top Gun
movie.
high five? That's important.
Absolutely, man.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's important for people that I see kids nowadays wearing a Top Gun shirt. I'm like, do you know how to do the Top Gun high five? They're like, what's a Top Gun high five? I'm like, get out of here. I don't know
You feel
you.
the need. Yeah. Feel the need for speed, baby.
There
Yeah. I
you
hear
go,
you.
man. You gonna see Maverick, Top Gun Part Two?
Yeah. COVID slowed it down, right? It was supposed to come out
Right.
earlier, right?
I tell
Yeah.
you what, I'm all in. I'm all in
Yeah.
for that. Ed Harris as an admiral. That's it. I'm in. I'm in. So what's your before we go, I want to know what's your advice to the youth and to the voters for November? And what is also your advice to keep Elk Grove a community that we can continue to love each other?
Well, I guess just for the voters and youth, I mean, do your research, ask questions, and don't hesitate to reach out to us, to any of the electeds, right? City council, school board, parks, our CSD Parks District. Don't hesitate to reach out. We want to talk to you guys. It's funny. I hear sometimes people say we don't know if we should talk to you, and that's the oddest thing to me because it's like our email, our phone numbers, everything's like broadcast out
Right.
there on the website and email. But I find it surprising that people say that they're not sure about that. So I definitely encourage folks to reach out if you ever got a question. I'm happy to talk to you. And then in terms of keeping the community together, Look, we're not anywhere else. We're not we're not Sacramento as close as they are. My old hometown. We're not Minneapolis. We're not New York. We're not Seattle. We are Elk Grove.
That's right.
Right? And here's the thing: when you go to the grocery store, when you go with your kids, whether it's baseball, football, soccer, whatever it is, you go out there. Think about that. You're interacting with folks, your friends, kids, seeing your kids interact with other kids. I gotta believe like that sense of community right there. If people think about that for a second, when you're walking on the street and you're tempted to, like you were talking about, see a shirt or a hat and react. If you would just remember those moments, this is your neighbor. This is your family, your Elk Grove family, right? So give everybody that benefit of the doubt. You know, they want to wear a shirt, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna fault you for wearing a Great America shirt instead of Mickey Mouse. You know, I mean. Give them the benefit
except for this
of the
shirt
doubt,
today. except for this shirt today. Well, listen to Cobra Commander Darren Suen, ladies and gentlemen. He says it straight up and right, and says it right. So, Darren, thank you so much for being on the show. I hope you had a good time, and I hope everyone else enjoyed it. We'll love to have you back, my friend.
I'd love to be back. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Before we go, we got to snap our fingers, man. It's time to, we're going to do some salsa. This is it, man.
Oh,
it's time to salsa. Oh, wait. We got
salsa.
one more comment. Oh,
okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Great interview. Team Suen.
Nice.
Boom,
Thank
ladies
you,
and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Really appreciate that.
Bro.
Matthew has been a big time supporter to me, Mikeself and I. So whenever you got
Awesome.
anything you need to say or any help you need, he will be there to provide and help out as well. So we got a good little following here on me, Mikeself and I. So one more time, let's snap our fingers, my friend. Let's get out of here.
Me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I.